Hey everybody, so today I'm going to start a brand new series called Trump Path to 2020. And in this series we're going to talk about each of the 50 states and what he's going to need to do in order to keep their electoral votes or win their electoral votes in the 2020 election so he can be reelected. So I'm going to go state by state, and the first state we're going to look at is the state of Maine, and then we're going to proceed to do the rest of the New England states. Maine is particularly interesting because, unlike most states, only Maine and Nebraska split their electoral votes, and this is a huge opportunity for Donald Trump to win the second district. This so there's two districts, one being the first district, which you can win one electoral vote. You can win the second district, which is also one electoral vote, and then you can also win the state at large, which is two electoral votes. So, in the 2016 election, Maine went slightly Democratic, and it has been for a long, since I believe Bill Clinton has been going Democratic. I live here. Things have really changed over the past couple of years, and there's been a really sharp rightward twist. We recently elected, not recently, sorry, our current governor, Paul LePage, is fairly right-wing, fairly conservative, and in my opinion has done a really good job with the state. So the state has really took a rightward shift, and you can see this by noticing all these red counties. They voted for Barack Obama. All of them voted Democrat except for Piscataquis County, which is Maine's most conservative county, and Trump won it by 58.9% of the vote. Maine's, I think, one of Trump's greatest opportunities to pick up the whole entire state at large, because it's overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly rural, and also not extremely educated and relatively low income. So Maine is a great opportunity. So let's look at the important things in Maine. So these two counties, Cumberland County and then York County, are Maine's two most important counties to win the state at large. So Cumberland County votes overwhelmingly for the Democratic candidate every single time, and the city of Portland is the biggest liberal bastion in the state of Maine, and the whole entire Casco Bay region is as well. And there's also York County, which is Maine's other high population county, is also important. But recently he's getting closer and closer, and I think Trump would need to win York County in order to win the state, and also tighten up the margins in the coastal counties, especially Waldo, Knox, Lincoln, and Saginaw. If he can win these like by 1,000 votes each, I think that would help him, and win York County would be the key to victory for the state. And maybe tighten up his margins in Cumberland County, but that's going to be very difficult. Okay, now these two counties, Kennebec and Androscoggin, are probably the most important for him to win. First of all, Kennebec County is where the capital Augusta is, relatively higher population, and then Androscoggin County is where Maine's second largest city is, and also Maine's fourth largest city. Both of these would be great areas to pick up more votes. The rural counties of Somerset, Franklin, and Oxford, also Piscataquis, Aroostook, and Washington, he pretty much won them as much as he can. That was really good. This is why he won the second district. And then Penobscot County, I think he can do a little bit better, but it's all about picking up votes in Bangor. So the awesome thing about the New York Times election map is you can do the full Maine election and then look individually at every city and town in the state of Maine. All this gray area, all that's pretty much unorganized territory, which there's a lot of in Maine. The whole entire northwestern portion of the state is all unorganized, extremely locally populated. I mean, extremely, with like one person per mile or something crazy in areas. So this is what I'm talking about. This area around Casco Bay, Portland, Yarmouth, Falmouth, Scarborough, South Portland, huge population. Look at Portland, 31,000 votes for Hillary Clinton, 76%. This is very liberal, and there's no chance that he can win this. So he just needs to really diminish this, because Portland is the key to winning the Maine electoral votes. Also, which surprisingly, Donald Trump won Auburn, a more conservative city, one of the whitest cities in Maine. He won this, and I think he needs to win this by more margins in order to win the state at large, and also to keep the second district. Um, Lewiston, he can also probably pick up, even though there's a large migrant community. They don't seem to vote. They're mostly from Somalia. They don't seem to vote very much. Also, a lot of them aren't citizens, so that has some sort of influence on Lewiston. But out in what's called the outer wards, is pretty white, pretty conservative. So Lewiston's a fairly conservative city, even though Hillary won by slight margins. York County, all she'd have to do would be flip these three towns: York, South Berwick, and Elliott, which I think is possible. Wells, possible, but it's really wealthy. Same thing with Kennebunk and Kennebunkport. It's actually where George Bush lives. But this area, which of York County, has kind of surprised me of being how conservative it is. Southern Maine is actually a lot more liberal than the rest of the state, if you can tell. Like this area just around Bangor, lowly populated, heavily conservative. This is why he was able to win Penobscot County, and solely the reason why he's able to win the second district. So that's really important. Also, minimizing Augusta. Augusta, the capital. This is the key to winning Kennebec County. Is lowering the margins in Augusta, and also its suburbs of Hollowell, Farmingdale. He won the suburb of Manchester. Also, in the northern, these towns aren't really suburbs. They're just really just small communities. A couple thousand people just to the north. And then you get into more northern Maine, which is rural white voters. This is his big strong suit. That's why he won the second district by 10 points. Even Obama won by 10 points. I don't understand what exactly happened between Obama and Trump, but Maine's really changed, become a lot more conservative. Not so socially conservative, but fiscally conservative. That's one thing that you're going to notice about Maine. Maine is pretty socially liberal. We voted to legalize marijuana, all sorts of stuff. Gay marriage has been legal here for a long time. But and this has a lot to do with the Casco Bay area, Portland especially. Aroostook County also pretty conservative, except for once you get to the northern tip. These are the French areas, and those are pretty liberal. But these are poor white areas, rural, especially Washington County. Washington County, I would say, is the most stereotypical Trump area. White, poor, and one of the lowest, age, very, how would I explain this? Life expectancy is really low in Washington County. A lot to do with, there's a lot of gambling and economic depression. Maine really hasn't recovered from 2008, so this is why Trump really appeals to Mainers. All he has to do is, I think, pick up York County, probably some of the coastal, and keep it down in Portland to win the state of Maine. I think it's really possible that he could do this, but he's never going to appeal to the Casco Bay area, so he just needs to tighten up the warm. It's wealthy, white, and rich, and that's not Trump's strong suit. So I really hope he can win Maine. I come from this area, the in between Lewiston and Augusta. It's actually one of the more conservative areas of the state, and consistently conservative. Really fiscally conservative. Also a great area to pick up votes. So thank you guys for listening to this Path to 2020 series. And if you guys have any suggestions, please comment, like, and subscribe down below. Have a great day.